Hi everyone. In this fact sheet, I will explain if his actions were informal or formal socialization, give an example of how Siddiq's original tactics were not working and how he adjusted to fit better, describe some of his reactions, and give an example of a socialization experience of my own. So for formal or informal workplace socialization, I believe Siddiq's interaction with Kurt and Gwendolyn was an informal workplace socialization because he had to learn on his own that they were a wild couple and that you had to be alert for both of them if you came across one of them. After the initial interaction, he finds Jeff to let them know who lets him know that there are no clean sales with them. Had Jeff told him this before, it would have still been informal because it was just casual advice and not necessarily work training or something like that. Um, his initial approach and how he changed it. The first time he went up to a car, the man hit his hand and drove off because he stuck his whole hand in the car with the product, making his sale unsuccessful and causing him to lose a lot of his product. After this interaction, he let people come to him and ask for a specific amount of the product. Then he also turned his back and only presented the amount that they asked for. I think the biggest changes were him letting them say what they wanted rather than presenting all the options at once, and also being more discreet and cautious about how he handled the sales, which is important because he already lost most of his product, and Jeffrey telling him losing product is a matter of life and death. His reactions to the lessons. He reacted by learning how to quickly readjust and adapt to the demands and norms of the job. Due to the nature of his job, he didn't have time to let mistakes affect him. He just had to keep selling while also learning along the way and figuring it out as he went. An experience of my own. When I first started my job and got my own group of kids, they often tried to push boundaries because they knew I was the new person and I didn't necessarily know every single rule. Um, and one time when we were at the playground, they told me that they could be on monkey bars. And at the time, it made sense to me because they were fifth graders. They seemed like they could be old enough, and it made sense that fifth graders could do monkey bars. So I didn't think to check with my supervisor. And it ended up being that they were not allowed to use monkey bars. And they did get in a little bit of trouble, but I personally wasn't reprimanded. Um, my supervisor just told me that if I have any questions or if I was unsure of anything, to always check with them because kids will always try to convince you of what they want to be true, even if it's not necessarily true. This experience was a mix of stressful and enlightening. It was stressful because I was naturally shy and I wasn't necessarily confident as my role of a group leader, but the lesson ultimately helped me grow into a more confident and effective group leader. And it was enlightening because it was important to learn how to be firm and to verify rules or anything that I'm not sure of, even if it did seem that it made sense at the time. So to wrap up, learning about the formal versus informal socialization in the workplace was interesting to me for multiple reasons. I think, like Sadiq, I personally used informal socialization more than formal because I'm utilizing things that I've learned along the way. I think it's important to see what's not working and make the proper adjustments to be able to be as successful as possible at my job.